like 10 seconds. It's got to open up the proper windows and such.
Alrighty, I think I transferred that over well enough, and we should be live, even though Kevin just said to give him a couple seconds. I had already hit the button. Nothing I can
Yeah.
do about that. Alrighty. Hello everybody. We are running a couple minutes late. We had some technical difficulties, which is surprising because Nick is not here, and it's always his fault, and I will maintain,
Still
even if he
Nick's
is
fault.
not here, it's still his fault. Anyways, welcome to our Sunday night game, etc., 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 blah, 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 blah. I played Dusk in this game. Yes, I remembered because I looked at the overlay. That is the only reason I remembered. Anyways, he is our Circle of Stars Druid Tabaxi. And now I'm going to pass it off to Lauren because she's muted.
Because that's life. And also I have family in the kitchen, so sorry if you hear them. Hi, yes, I'm Lauren. I play you Rias. He is an illusionist wizard. He's a Yanti pureblood. He's evil. And hopefully I'm playing him properly to be evil. But we'll see. For sure. You know.
There's one of the things about alignment that I dislike is that good and evil are just like the two opposite extremes. There should be like shady and kind of cool and other things in there, and like a spectrum of good versus evil.
This group of okay.
Yeah, like if you're hitting somewhere between shady and evil, you're exactly where I think you want to be.
Casual, annoyed all the time. If I'm doing it right, thank you.
Sure.
I will not help party members. I'm really sorry. I will try, but indirectly.
Alignment is a legacy problem. So
True. Okay, good. I don't know that. You are the expert. I bow to your will.
if you ever want to burn a couple of hours, just do a quick Google search for D&D alignment controversy, and then just let the rabbit hole happen.
Dude, just researching a character in general is a rabbit hole because you can go so deep. But I digress. We'll be here forever, and we have a gameplay. But yeah, I like to think he's a terrible human. He's not human. He's a terrible Yanti pureblood. That's what he is. And
Terrible.
bless him. So, Katie, how about you go next? You'll be better than me. Go on.
I'm Katie. I'm a. Oh, I can actually introduce my character this time because it's not a mystery anymore. I forgot what I was for a minute. I'm a changeling, fighter, sorcerer, person-y thing. And my name is Zen for short, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And pass to Derek.
I'm Derek. I am currently high on sinus medication, and no. I'm on a lot of it, but that's a different thing. And I played Dudley, the Hexblade Warlock, who has so far in this campaign found about 700 ways to nearly die. So, yeah, we're gonna. It's not just the dump stat con though, because I've also just failed obvious checks and skills that I should have had nothing to do with
game.
con.
It's long game.
Yeah.
This is all plot for the future you.
Just
I get it.
everything. So yeah, that's me. So Oliver, what?
Yes, I'm Oliver. And tonight I'm playing Bosk, the goblin big game hunter. And Bosk's alignment is definitely good. He's definitely the good member of the party. Very good at earning money.
No.
Yes.
Well, he's the only one asking for money. I'm ready to kill anybody. I don't care.
He's capitalist neutral.
Yeah, so that's me. Class is Ranger, but that doesn't really matter. So I'll pass it to Kevin.
All right. I'm Kevin. I DM this game. I'm having horrible camera problems tonight, so deal with it. During our last couple of sessions, a couple of notable things have happened. Finished up your maiden voyage as a adventuring company at the this underground mansion you had found. And Among other mysteries you found, there was a pair of murders. Um, one of which was the murder of a local woman who had uh, found a box of mysterious key that she gave to her fiance to hide before her death. So this box of 7 different keys has found its way into your possession. Uh, you also heard a rumor that a bandit stronghold nearby had been reoccupied, set out to explore that. And other than a short attempted assassination slash bounty hunter encounter and some a detour for some periton hunting, you guys proceeded directly to what you've learned to be known as Rithmere Keep. Now, the Rith River runs nearby this. The keep is on a raised earth mound with a wooden palisade around it in a kind of in a bend of the river where the land is really low. So it's a fairly defensive structure. What was your first indication that something here was not going to meet your expectations when you heard the laughter of children playing inside the uh, that led to a bit of discussion, a little familiar based scouting effort, and a diplomatic approach to the. And I do have to mention again that keep is a bit of a stretch on the name here because it's a wooden wall and not stone. So even the name has a slight bit of extra grandeur to it beyond what it deserves. Uh, but you were welcomed in after being told to leave your weapons in a wooden barrel by the entrance, which was then locked with a magic. So that's where we find ourselves right now, is walking this keeps relatively square, about 400 feet per side, maybe 20 or 30 smaller buildings inside. The largest of which is a central tower, which again a bit of a stretch on the definition of tower. Um, it's a 2-story wooden structure that's built defensively, but it does have a bit of style to it. It was not made just be defensive. Someone tended to live here. Children are playing in the courtyard. Your escorts are taking you directly to the center of the building.
And they were
The
cocky too, right? When they came up, like they had no weapons or whatever. It doesn't seem like
Yeah,
people are fully armed,
yeah.
but they were
You didn't see any weapon here larger than a knife. Um,
okay.
even the guards that were at the towers, they're more watchmen guards. There's no armament. So taken directly to the central structure, led into the doors, and what you see here inside is a large central room with a balcony that runs along the second floor. So it's kind of an open loft kind of structure. Uh, Large tables. Looks like the everyone here in the keep, entire population, could fit inside this room for one giant uh, mealtime scenario. At the back side of this, there's a raised platform where there's a second table. Um, and that's where you see 2 figures who are kind of they're sitting and having some type of conversation seated at this table. Um, Probably 30 people in the room here entirely. Children playing outside. Uh, Behind the table, you've got a man and a woman seated in large chairs that are trying very much to appear throne-like. And you're announced as you come in. It's like these are the travelers who approached the gate earlier today. I'll leave it to them to introduce themselves.
Hey there. My name's Bosk. Pleasure.
The man behind the table looks over at you and goes, "It's not often we get visitors. Our kingdom is young and new. No one comes here yet."
Kingdom. Okay.
Well, I'm Dudley. I'll allow the others to introduce themselves. I speak for no one else but myself when I say we were honored to be allowed to step in. So, thank you.
The woman seated next to him, more lounging in the chair than anything else. Like she's sprawled in it sideways, one of her legs like up over the arm of the chair. Um, Extra casual in how she's presenting herself.
My favorite person.
And she almost seems like she's distracted by something else when she glances over at you. So what brings you here?
Well, I was doing some hunting. Some of those parrotons, you know, we shot a couple of them down, tracked it down to its nest, went through it, didn't find any eggs, unfortunately. And then we came along this place. We'd heard there was banditry.
Well, that hasn't been accurate here in a long time. My husband and I found this place while we were adventuring here about 20 years ago. At that point in time, bandits were here. The nearby city of Iril kind of employed us to clear them out, which we did. And then once we decided to retire, I'm going to use the word retire. We returned here to make a home. It is also fair to mention that had the Paratons had eggs, that would have been a much, much more necessary problem to deal with. They can only breed after eating the heart of a humanoid.
Oh. Well, Dudley's still alive, so I guess no eggs.
They were looking for an aphrodisiac. Okay.
Apparently, I'm the only humanoid here.
And our other friend.
I mean, actually, though, you are.
Now, you all are classified as humanoid as far as DD is concerned.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we moved in and started renovating about a year ago.
You've been retired for 20 years and now you start to renovate?
No, we had originally intended to return to Sembia, but there was family drama. We chose to leave instead of participate in drama that had less to do with us than people's opinions of us.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember my lessons well, there tends to be a lot of drama in that region, huh?
Oh, find me a place on the map that does not have drama. It's almost like this land was written by storytellers.
They are overrated.
Do those places that have drama, does that include here?
Not at the moment. That's why we returned here. We planned on some place quiet, uncontested.
Well, you definitely got that. Not a lot of people coming this way.
It does have its benefits, though. The magical weave in this area has properties that be exploited for profit.
Is that so? What kind of business are you running here then?
We can create minor magic items fairly easily.
Very interesting.
Potions, low energy wands, things like that.
Oh, maybe that's where that scroll came from. The one that was in the parrot nest. Must have come off.
My snake
Periton,
will lovingly wrap around your shoulders, around your neck a little bit. Give you a nice little hug. But he won't do anything else. She won't do anything else.
Peritons are a regional menace. They prey on travelers, and that could have come from anywhere.
It was pittance of a traveler.
And
Something lights cantrip. Or whatever it was. No, it'll be first level spell.
I sent you a message after the
You
session.
did, and I didn't want to say. Well, I guess I could say use a pottery. Protect good evil. No one cares for that.
but you haven't had any worries about bandits like in the region recently, because I was led to believe by some, granted, probably less than reliable sources, that there may be issues with bandits here, and that's one of the reasons we came around here to, uh, you know, without regards to your establishment, banditry is really not a great thing to condone. So
Now there was some trappers who were working the wooded area near here a couple of months ago. They may have gotten the wrong impression of our presence. Now, I, as a DM, am very horrible with voices. This conversation is going back and forth between the two of them. It is not just one speaker.
Well,
they've probably lived together long enough. They're probably close in the same place, so it's fine. Understand.
well, that's that all sounds well and good. I'm more interested in these magic items. Do you have any for sale, perhaps, or maybe trade?
We had just sent our season production off to Earl
Dang it.
days ago. But
Well,
there will be more. Is
how often do you make these trinkets?
it's a process. There's potions take less time to create than a wand.
Okay.
That's the
Well,
advantage of the area here. The way
What
the
is going on in Errol? Errol's how to pronounce?
Earl.
Errol.
Yeah.
What is going on there that requires your assistance?
Nothing specifically. They just have more money than they know what to do with. So we have a contact there that we sell to, and he disperses resells from there.
And you mentioned a uniqueness to the weave around here. Has that, beyond the benefit of allowing easier production, has that caused other issues?
Yeah, the some of the magic effects throughout the entire region are non-standard. Uh, Mostly centered around Shantal. By your accent points over towards dusk. Until at least some of you are from.
all right. Well, no bandits to take care of, I guess. You guys seem to have this under control. You got an inn?
Not so much, but you are welcome to stay as guests.
Great. We'll stay a night.
That would be a wonderful. We are unaccustomed to visitors, so it'll be a change of pace. Can I get a perception check from
I want an
every?
insight too, because I'm like, really?
Hmm.
No, you don't have visitors ever?
Um,
Because it was off the beaten path, right? That's right.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, that makes sense then. It was off the
yeah.
beaten path.
The river near here runs fast, so there's no boat, no common boat travel on the river.
Or like a dock
Um,
for them. Yeah.
yeah, like traveling up against the current would be problematic. Uh, and then it's not on the way to anywhere either. So other than the fact that Earl is across the river about 20 miles away, there's not much in the way of settlement or
Boss just not even retired. They decided to retire here, and if there's nothing here, I'm very intrigued by all that. So, which I said insight. I will go back with my insight.
sure. All right,
Okay.
we'll go. Then we'll take care of the perception.
14 plus 2. So 16 for my insight.
There's a lot more going on than they're telling. They're definitely like skirting a topic or two, but there's nothing that you're picking up on that's inaccurate or deceptive about what they are saying.
Do I recognize what they're leaving out? Everything
Uh,
sounds great, so there's got to be a problem. So I guess I
how
get
about
asked if
you?
it's
How
problem.
about you give me the Arcana check?
Which will probably be way better than I have. So where's it at? Arcana. All right, plus 5. That's a lot better. Oh, 14. 9
14.
plus 5.
Um, that what they said about the weave is absolutely accurate. Kind of very simplified way of stating it. The weave is the network of magical power that runs across the entire world.
I mean, we pull from that every time we cast a spell.
Right,
Or, yeah.
right. And the the central hill in Shantal is uh, a defect or a ripple in the weave. There's nothing in your research that's really truly explained what's going on there, but you're
Yeah.
very familiar with the effect they're describing.
They're still feeling it where we are. Okay.
At this distance, they'd probably be on the extreme edge of that disruption, which could have all sorts of various effects you could exploit one way or the other.
Okay. I may test that theory later.
So moving on to the perception checks I asked.
I think I got a 6.
5.
Yeah, I got a 6.
13
12.
for perception.
14.
Katie?
5.
5. Okay, so
Oh,
the best we got there was a 12, huh?
No, I got 13.
13.
Someone got a 14.
I
Okay,
got
14. The queen. When she moves her head, firelight kind of like reflects off her eyes in a. It's just a brief instant of something, but there's a reflection there that's noteworthy and unexplainable. So
Would that be an influence, or is that that would have been my Arcana check, right?
Huh.
I will. You know what I'll do? I'll have to do a detect magic to see if there's anything up with her. I'll just do that as a.
you'd like to cast a spell.
I will, but it's more of like as I'm doing my somatic or visual, whatever it is. I'm like doing a whole. I'm like talking to a snake. What's happening? And I look over.
Okay.
Thing. If that's a deception too, I don't know. I'm trying to mask what I'm trying
It's
to do.
not something easy to do. That's why
Okay.
there's a sorcerer meta magic ability for exactly that.
Okay.
So
Alright.
if you attempt to cast a spell, it's gonna be noticed, especially with this many eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe if other people, everyone was looking in a different direction or you had a distraction.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't get. I already said I'm going to do it, so let it happen.
If you'd like to cast the detect magic,
And could I do it? Is it deception or is it stealth or like what would it be if I was trying to do it casually or
I want to say that's an Arcana check.
Arcana? Okay. Ooh, 19 plus 5, so 24. Oh, it's just
Okay.
yeah. All right, I don't know why I did that voice. Sorry. I was really happy.
So you pull it off as subtle as you can, and that I'll have to roll a die. So the spell goes off, and you can see that there's the auras of magic items on several of the people around you. Things tucked into pockets, wands tucked into belts. They've got quite a lot going on here. So any indication that they were unarmed is inaccurate.
Yeah.
But the queen looks right at you,
I wave.
and she's like, I'm going to chalk that up paranoia and curiosity.
Then you know my species very well.
I do.
Really sick looking
And
face.
it would be ill-advised to take advantage of our hospitality. Um,
Well,
That was a
I can
Freudian
also
slip.
see the hostility.
that was not a
Sure. No.
not an intentional Freudian slip.
That is the voice, the stature. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. And
Trust that I will feel like home here.
okay.
And I
Can I
bow very deeply.
can I get a will save?
Oh shit. Okay. 11 plus. Oh, is wisdom? Since you said will, right?
Wisdom, yes.
Wisdom. Okay.
Sorry, my fourth edition was showing.
11 plus 2, so 13.
Okay.
Am I safe or no? Probably not. Cool.
There's a she makes you feel afraid.
Thought his face would change, but
It's
you
like,
said,
no, she's got a power behind her gaze that kind of makes you take a step back. And then as soon as it hits you, she releases it. She just gives you a taste of that.
oh, yeah, I do a deep breath.
And
full on,
yeah, she then goes about. It's like this conversation should be continued with food, because this is our hospitality here should not be questioned.
No,
I
no, no.
don't.
If you just one moment, please. Yuris,
quite understood.
have you no manners? You're in a court right now. There's a king and a queen here. You do not go willy-nilly casting spells and provoking things. Listen, I know where you're from. I understand what you guys do there, but this is like polite society. So please try better. See,
You are one to
solve
talk.
this with words. We don't need intimidation and magic.
Well,
You're
I don't know what's
I don't
going
want
on at
to.
all.
I don't want to intensify it because I have things on him. And I just. I have things that I could say, good sir, but I will not go on.
I don't know what's going on at all, but I heard food, and I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yes, he's got good idea.
Yeah. So, they offer you seats. Drinks arrive quickly. They appear to be getting ready for a meal anyway. You can already smell venison cooking.
I do not eat or drink.
And then quickly,
At all.
under my breath and directed at Yuris, if you needed something done, you could have asked me. I've got quite a few like subtle tricks right now.
Maybe you should have told me that before, but sit down, eat. I will not. You do what you want. We'll talk later.
Meanwhile, I'm just chowing down.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
so, you guys.
I pick around. I pretend
Yeah.
like
Food is served. You got venison, a large platter of salmon, plates of fried vegetables. It's stuff that starts out with a common base, but is prepared well and hearty.
So you guys said you were adventurers before you retired. Cleared out the bandits here. You got any other interesting stories? I'd love to hear them. What was the biggest thing you ever killed?
What was the largest or the most dangerous?
Both.
We encountered a ferrum while we were exploring a dungeon north of here. Shortly before we decided we had acquired enough to retire. Can I get a? I think we've been using history for your monster knowledge, Bosk. No, it was a skill you had. Let's call it. Got
Yeah.
weird skills.
Yeah, either nature or survival.
Let's call it survival in your case, because I just want it to be something you know how to do.
Okay. 12.
12. Ferrum are not something you've heard of before.
Interesting. Could you tell me more? How did it fight?
They powerful spellcasting was a creature of more magic than physical. They're like a flying cone slug sort of thing.
Yeah, flying things are always a pain. That's why I use the crossbow.
I lean over to Dusk, ask her about this, like confer with Arcana if we can together.
Yeah, I
can
was
give her
gonna
adva-
say, like,
Yep.
I'm
advantage on it?
keeping an ear out for like what they're saying, because obviously my parents were adventurers, so they probably would have
Right.
told me things. Do I have
So-
any idea what this thing
Right.
is, and if it's actually a thing?
I nudge
One
for
one
advantage.
one thing I know for certain is Zin. You've never heard of him. So yeah, give me a. I really want to say like let me give you a skill check. It's just called survival there too.
Okay.
I'm going to set that as precedent right now. Survival is adventuring lore.
Oh, I got a 6. I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
Could I not advantage? I was like, like you talking. She may have told me a story before and thought it was it.
Yeah, like you're also drawing a blank on these things. Like you may have heard the word, but you have nothing to associate with it.
Yeah.
Just to complete the set, how about Uraeus and Dudley?
Do you want Arcana or Survival?
Either or.
Oh yeah, I'll do Arcana. But
I got a 6. I'm too busy. I am.
What is with rolls
honestly-
tonight?
I'm just gonna do another thing because I don't trust my dice because my dice have been pretty nice. But then I will lean over to Zinc if I'm assuming it's right by me. Do you know anything? Oh, 23. 18 plus 5. Hey yo, bitches.
All right.
I will still lean over to Zinc.
Ferrum were the nemesis of the Netherese Empire.
Aren't the Netherese terrible? I feel like they were awful. Well, I mean, they were my friends then.
Well, no, that terrible is accurate.
No. I'm sorry. I'm a fan. I can't say.
I would be if they were terrible.
They were
Netherese are awesome.
decadent, I think, may be a good word.
Yeah, decadent.
Think of it as
Decadent wizard fascist.
Okay, that's as soon as you put that in there, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Urias might actually like them.
That's what I mean. I'm
If
like,
you-
come on, buddies. All right, so these are.
Oh no, they were the first human empire to truly get their flex on and conquer most of this part of the globe. But yeah, Ferrum were the creatures that caused them the most problems. They wanted to do nothing more than destroy the entire Netherese empire, and they came close to doing it several times. So then they continue on with the story. It's like, it was
Them taking care of that creature or person,
Yeah,
whatever it was.
it was a bit of a surprise. It was imprisoned deep in this Netherese laboratory we think it was. And when we released it, it was a bit of a shock. We weren't expecting it. So it nearly killed all of us.
Well, you made it out, at least some of you.
Mhm.
Well, the ones that didn't, we resurrected. It was a process.
I see.
That is a good thing to do.
Hey,
And
boss,
where is this? Oh, sorry.
That certainly sounds exciting. You ever run into any? I assume you've operated all over these parts. If you you remembered the terrain enough to come back here.
It was notable. It was we had a couple of contacts in Earl that were, we still were in discussion with. So knowing the neighbors was a huge part of the decision.
Well, the these areas around here, lots of wilds and all that. I don't suppose any of you have ever come across any dragons.
More than a few.
Any that are local?
Not around here exactly. I've heard there's green that layer nearby.
Interesting. Nearby as in whereabouts?
For a dragon, probably 3 or 4 days flight. I have to check a map to remember the name real quick. Of course, closed because I had to reboot my computer. Blame Nick 2021. Junderwood. There are several greens that nest in there, that layer in there.
I see. Very interesting. Just so we know where to avoid, of course.
That would be wise. You may have heard the classic phrase, do not meddle in affairs of dragons, for you are tasty and are good with ketchup.
True enough. Goblins maybe not as tasty as some others, like Dudley over there. Everything
like a
seems to want
bite-sized
to eat
snack,
them.
right, boss? Just a bite-sized snack.
Yeah, there's hardly any meat on me.
Crudité, as they say.
That said, I've always wondered about that proverb. Do you think a dragon tastes good with ketchup? Just curious.
I wouldn't know.
That sounds delicious.
I would say probably wouldn't. Well, I guess it would depend on where they're from.
Zin and Dusk, you are being the quietest in this conversation, so I'm going to assume you're currently being the most observant. Can I get an insight check for both of
18.
I can't read. Where is insight? Oh my god. 7.
you? Okay.
Under history.
Dusk, the conversation when it shifts to dragon, all of the other side conversations going on in the room get a little bit quieter.
I'm already super sus, man. Well, somebody got a Discord message.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I would never be so bold as to think that I could stroll up and simply meddle with the dragon. But the proverb does make you wonder. You know, maybe they would be good with ketchup. I pondered it. The parrot was delicious. The venison is delicious. I mean, who's to say a dragon isn't delicious?
It depends on the type of ketchup.
One of my uncles, one of the men who said they were my uncles, claimed to have eaten dragon before, and it turned out that it made him and his entire unit sick. but I chalk that up to the cook
It
not preparing
probably
it.
it probably
correctly.
wasn't prepared properly. I
Yeah.
I think I could make a nice dragon steak.
Yeah, the Dusk. Now that you're paying attention to it, the conversation is making everyone around here awkward.
Oh,
Who?
no.
She's a dragon. The queen's a dragon.
Yeah.
Strictly character related question and nothing to do with the actual conversation right now is, but what are they putting out to drink? I'm just curious because you will notice, and Dudley has done this so far and will continue to do this. If there is wine, he will not touch it.
There's
Yeah.
there's a selection. Water is offered first. There's also wines and ales. Like they're able to keep the you've got options.
Yeah. Well, everything gets a sniff test, and no
You
wine.
smell dragon? Do you
No
smell
wine
dragon?
passes this
Sniff
lip,
test in the air.
like at all, and that's that's why I asked, because I don't want it, like, if it's like offensive to somebody that I won't drink their wine, then they're gonna.
No, they're not like pushing any one dish over the other. Most of it's just like served to the center of the table in a very serve yourself and reach for that sort of fashion.
Mhm.
And I'm serving myself a little bit of everything.
Are they
Yeah.
eating?
Oh yeah.
They're eating.
Everyone is eating.
Okay. I'm just not me. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and you choosing not to eat, that's not even commented on. That's your business, not theirs.
Yeah. Fine.
So, if I'm reading your group right, you're relatively new at the adventuring life?
We're relatively new adventuring together, I suppose you could say.
Valid.
So it was such an exciting time when we first hit the road and started to explore everything.
Everything.
Wow.
That sounds very loaded.
You know how you know how it is. You wander into one dungeon, you find a mystery, you try to search for answers, it takes you somewhere else. Next thing you know, you're on a ship crossing a sea,
Mm.
and you end up farther from home than anyone you know has ever been.
I have a question for you.
Very specific.
You're walking down the road. You run into some people that need help. You would help them, I'm sure. You would also expect a reward. I don't think that's a question, right? That's normal. You wouldn't demand it, but you would expect it.
Before
Some
he was a
people
big game hunter, he was a
It's-
banker.
It's like a tip.
some people are more mercenary than others. This is true.
I didn't demand anything. I'm just saying a service was provided that saved the lives of some country bumpkins. I don't think that a couple gold is that strange to expect.
And if the couple gold is
You
all they
expect
have.
country bumpkins to have gold.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank
They
you.
gotta have something.
We've been in places where the entire economy is turnip based.
I'd take turnips. Turnips are fine. You can put them into a stew.
You might do that, but
They could have offered us some of their sheep.
And what are
Yeah.
we gonna do with sheep?
Eat them.
they're pretty good, and they make very good coats.
Exactly.
I've gotten through this entire conversation without actually names of these. But Queen Sandala and King Rykone. The king speaks up and is like, that we were in Thay where the locals there likely didn't see more than 3 coins at a time.
You survived Thay.
Yes, that's a horrible place. Could not leave soon enough.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you've addressed yourselves as kings and queens. How I am not questioning your your lineage or anything, but have the surrounding nations done that? Because apparently they're very touchy about who they acknowledge as royalty in some of these places.
Raikkonen was that question. It's like, I was born a prince Sembia, so the title was mine before we got here.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said. Far from me, I was not questioning anything. I just know that
If
some people around here are not happy about anybody claiming leadership roles. So
in Sembia, the lands we've settled here would barely qualify as a county, but Count Raikkonen didn't sound right, so king it is.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about this. People, humans, elves, dwarves, they love their bloodlines. They love that heritage stuff, and that's fine, whatever. But goblins, where I come from, uh, what makes you a king or a queen is how many people you can convince to call you that. That's really all that matters.
That's more universal than most would like to admit. I've also heard goblins where it's merely the tallest.
Well, usually it's the one that's the least backstabbed at the moment. It changes day to day.
At the moment.
Is that your case here?
Uh,
And you have no worry about backstab.
when we settled here, we brought many of our trusted friends, and there's I trust each and every one of these people completely.
Well, if you can get them to call you king and queen, that's good enough for me. Whatever.
And like the entire room like hoists a mug or a glass to that and turns it into a toast.
Are they influenced magically in any way? Is that a Arcana check to do that? Like they feel like
no,
they're supposed to love them?
when you had your detect magic was still up, you got nothing for like that.
Okay. All right. So they okay.
Yeah. But if you want to roll an insight check to back that up, go for it.
Insight, sure. What's my insight? +2, I think it was. I'll do it on the thing. I keep forgetting I can just hit a button here. Okay, that's okay. 15.
Yeah, it seems like legitimate. Like this is, they're all a collective of equals sort of deal. They've been through stuff together.
This is
So
bullshit. This is shit. I roll
Yeah.
my eyes really like a deep sigh internally.
like your
Ugh.
intrigue sensors are coming up with very little.
Not interesting at all. They all like each other.
and all the children out there. I mean, this might sound a little morbid, but just curiosity, really, in general. They are all of relation to the rest of you here in some fashion or another, right? They're not
Uh,
orphans.
a
We're
few are adopted, but
Yeah.
most of them are children of the people who live here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly standard, I believe.
well, for some families, yes, and
Some
for
some
of
of our
our
companions have met early end, but have left children behind. We're not going to abandon them.
no, of course, but I mean, some people, I know of some people that don't have well-defined family lines and have no idea who may have been a parent at one time or another.
Yeah, that'd be me. Goblins have no idea. Doesn't really matter. They're probably dead.
Well, see, it matters in
It's
some
fine.
places
I'm not keen on family.
what you inherit later on. Yeah.
Zin, what's your take on that? Everyone you know is planets away.
I'm just like taking notes and like getting very confused at all like the culture lines and etiquette lines and like everything is very interesting, but also very, very confusing.
Okay. See if there's anything else we can get you involved with. You're just way too quiet. Give me another insight check.
before.
Yeah, you're confused. Let's just go with that. This is, I'm not sure. We didn't really talk too much about what your life before here was like, but this is nothing like that.
Sure.
So yeah, we can, stretch dinner conversation on as long as you want, really. That's up to you guys right now.
I will go to bed as soon as possible because this is boring as F.
Okay. Um,
I might sneak around, but
I'll listen to as
Kalia will sneak
Yeah.
around, not me. She
I'll
will-
listen to as many stories as they're willing to tell me, and while I'm eating and drinking.
yeah. Stories go on, as long as, long into the night. They're like the general history of things you pick up on is that Raikkonen was a prince, but there was some question about who his father was. So that led to the drama they were alluding to. So rather than contest that and deal with other potentially more legitimate brothers or sisters, he decided to pack up and leave.
So he kept his title. He just went somewhere where no one would normally contest it because nobody from is going to come and say, you're not really a king or you're not really a prince, so you shouldn't be a king here.
Yeah, if he would have stayed at home, there would have been a lot of conflict due to his questionable parentage.
Yeah, I know about that. I understand that completely. I question Bosk's parents all the time.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Me too. Who were they? Who cares?
Maybe you've met them. It's hard to say. Okay, we've definitely reached the sandbox portion of this campaign where it is really up to you guys to do what you.
Yeah.
Uraeus, you found that scroll. The
Yeah,
option to
can I-
copy that into your spell book is a thing you can do.
yeah.
And this would be a safe and quiet enough spot to do that.
That shit in my arms or wherever I'm putting on my body, somewhere
Yeah.
tattooed. But I will do a ritual because I think is it with find familiar. I can change my familiar into a different thing as opposed to what it normally is. I could change it to a different creature. Is that ritual or no?
I'm not entirely opposed to that. What do you have in mind?
I was thinking of fly because it's so small enough it can just kind of
Okay.
where it wants to go. Yeah.
One problem with that is I am noticing in our Monday night game that the concept of a tiny familiar
Yeah.
is very exploitable. So I want to
Oh,
leave that as a
So you
purely
don't want me.
related thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I guess I'll just leave it as a snake then. Or no, you know what? I'll make it into a mouse. I'll make Kali into a mouse.
Oh,
Just
she doesn't.
scurry about.
She does not like being turned into prey.
Well,
It,
dude,
you
come
you
on!
can
I was
you
trying
can
to do something.
no, you can do it.
You told me I
It
couldn't do it.
You can do it. She just doesn't like it.
Well, yeah. Well,
She may make you pay for that later. Hard to say.
I'll keep her as is. There's only one creature I'll make happy. It's definitely Kalia. So I will definitely do that.
Now, in her normal snake, winged snake
What I
form.
will do, because it's an hour, I will cast invisibility for the hour for her to snoop around.
Okay.
So let me cast that before I forget. And I'm sure because the ladies are I leave early, knowing everyone else is talking
Okay.
to them,
So you want an invisible familiar
snooping around in the king
snoop
queen's
it.
quarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And king queen's quarters is where you're looking
Or just
to.
looking around because she was shifty, she was cray cray. I'm sure she has an alarm spell. It's gonna go off, and sorry guys, in advance. But I'm doing it anyway because
All right.
Especially they seem too goody-goody, and I'm like, I don't like
Can
that.
you roll stealth with advantage for Khalid?
Okay. All right, let me pull up her stats for the flying serpent, I think it is. And what do I use?
Yeah.
Is it the dex I use for stealth?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, dude, +4. Could use a plus.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, 17 plus 4, so 21 for
Okay.
stealth.
Um,
Give me all the dirt on them. Because I can see through her eyes, so.
Yeah, they're like their quarters is kind of a the second tier of the central banquet hall. The loft above the throne is kind of where there's bed chambers located. And it's just cordoned off by like curtains and not actual true doors. Slipping in there is kind of easy. Um, what you've got there is a large, sprawling, oversized bed, far more cushions than is entirely necessary. There's
Any scales anywhere? Because I think she's a dragon. Happens to be somewhere.
no, nothing that obvious.
Okay.
There is a gigantic wardrobe which is closed, and then on the walls, got like weapons, trophies, and this is the things that are collected through a life of adventure are just on their walls.
I roll my eyes. Clay does not do that, even though I'm seeing them. I'm like, ugh. Trophies. Why have memories? This is bullshit. Okay.
It's not even just trophies. This is kind of like also a display of wealth.
Oh, okay. So they're very ostentatious. They're
Not
like.
not like
Well, I
tacky.
mean, it's their
not
bedroom.
Like, yeah.
It's their bedroom. I get
It's
like.
not, yeah. We're not
Yeah.
talking like gold-plated toilets or anything like that.
Awkward.
It's just these are the spoils of a life of adventure, displayed as such.
Any writings anywhere? Anything they have out? Like they were writing a letter to someone. Anything that I can kind of see of like what they're kind of hiding in, especially her. So I will go through her garments. I will go through if she really has garments. It's not even a thing.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of clothes, and things like that. There's they've picked up a lot along the way. So while from the outside this place looks hyper rustic,
They're fit to the gills.
they're not doing bad for themselves. They're not
But everyone
displaying the
else
wealth.
looks like a pauper compared to what I'm seeing
Not
right here.
not really. Like I wouldn't
Okay.
even try that. Like everyone here like clothes fit well maintained. There was no sign of poverty or lack. It's just that they weren't ostentatiously displaying their wealth externally. They just in their own private places, it's there.
Mm.
Give me a investigation check to see how thorough Kalia's search.
Investigation. Okay. 15.
Okay. One of the things that you do find is a bit of crafting equipment. It's fine knives and woodworking tools, for etching and engraving things. Now this is like set up on it's on a table with a closed case. So these are finely maintained, high quality tools, presumably for wood carving or inlaying things into wands, things like.
Gotcha. So she's the one that's making these things that are being sold or bartered.
They
Well,
share they share the chamber, so you can't really
Okay.
identify if it's one or
Whoever
the
is
other.
doing this is them. All right. And I can cast spells through hers. Oh no, the invisibility will go. Never mind. I won't do anything. Nope. I'll just investigate. Yep.
So yeah, that's the most interesting thing that you find up there, other than the fact that they have wealth.
So dull. Come back. I'll let us sleep. There is nothing here of value. And I will
So,
rest.
throughout the night, do we have anything else that you guys want to do?
Well, I actually think this place is fine, but I just out of habit, I am casting an alarm spell of our own on wherever they have given us to sleep before I just conk out, and then I'm gonna snore all through the night.
Yeah, they set you up in a one of the homes that's inside the wall is empty at the moment. So there's basic furniture inside, but they've pulled in blankets and proper equipment to set it up for the night. But it looks like before you guys got there, it was completely empty.
Bear with me when I say this. This might sound strange. There's a reason for it. Is there a way I can pull myself closer to a bunch of the kids? Because kids don't have filters. So when you ask kids questions about certain people and things, you might get what you're looking for. Now, I'm wondering if I can convert my sleight of hand skill into not not obvious magic, but like
Card
stage
trick kind of
magic,
stuff.
card tricks and
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
And I want to throw a few tricks, entertain them, and then start asking them questions, just delicate questions about the queen. Like, does she sometimes like, or do the king and queen, do they sometimes like transform into things and rampage across the country, or do they, do the is there a lot of like fighting going on around here? I mean, like outside of the house, things that
Okay.
kids
So
might have a better.
you
Yeah.
want to interrogate the children.
Yes, I
Okay.
do, but I want to make it worth their while.
Okay.
I want to
So
show them
we're
a
gonna
few
start
tricks if I do
with card tricks or something like that. Okay. Let's go with that sleight of hand check. See how well you pull the rabbit out of the hat.
that. Yeah, not great. That's only a 9. That's a +5. Damn it.
Your magic tricks reach the level of sliding your thumb off.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm even trained for this stuff. That's great.
Yeah, it's they're curious and polite, but not impressed by that. So
I mean, I could show you something else, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to upset your parents.
good. Also, they're children. Go there. Um,
No, not that. I'm
I-
saying,
so let's sum up your interrogation with a deception check.
sure. I was gonna let them mess around with the backpack, but sentient backpack is not a great thing to give to kids. What you don't know if it might try to eat them, given
Mm.
its nature. Deception, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. 25.
Okay. Um, they kind of let on that they know better, better tricks than that. Um, and more than one of them like is actually able to display that they can cast prestidigitation.
Well, out of an abundance of
Like
respect for your parents,
they
I
they,
am
they
not
kind of
using.
go out of their way to hide that they hide from the adults that they're doing it right now.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. But out of an abundance of respect for your parents, I am choosing not to cast magic. But I could show you one trick that I know that probably won't get me in trouble. So let me see. I'll step back and then I'll cast blur on myself.
That gets a little bit more of an impressed reaction out of them. They that's at least the application of real magic is something that they're more impressed with.
Now,
Uh,
Mm.
I could do another trick where I can see in the dark, but then you wouldn't know that I could actually see in the dark. So it's a little hard to show you that I could actually see in the dark. Oh, Except, nah, because that might get a little borderline, and I don't want to offend you or your parents. So
Give me an Arcana check while you're at all this.
that's only an 11, and that
Okay.
digital die was like stuck for a second on that facing where it said 17 or 10.
I
So
think it is a testament to how well they designed that digital dice roller that you can still see the die roll away from the good number onto the actual result.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, the people who built that know what dice do to you. But yeah, like several of the children can cast prestidigitation.
That's not that abnormal. Given who their parents and the structure of this area, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that they're trying to do it a little more sneakily. So it's like my final thought on that is, you guys, you're not really supposed to be showing me this, right? They don't want you to. They're afraid it might cause problems for you.
We're not supposed to.
Well, secret safe with me. I'm gonna say nothing. You guys have a good night. I appreciate the show, and once things are a little more clear, and I understand that I'm not gonna offend your
Sure.
parents or anything, maybe I'll put on a bigger show for you.
Let's do a mild fast forward to when you guys are in the guest house that was provided all together and talk privately. Is there anything you guys wanted to share with each other when no one else is around?
I'm gonna share the fact that I noticed. The talk of eating dragons and dragons in general, everybody got pretty quiet. So there's something strange.
Well, I didn't mean to offend their delicate culinary sensibilities.
I'm
But it's
sure that's
okay.
what
I
it
went for
is.
the dedicates. There was nothing there but wood carving tools for, wands and stuff. Very boring.
I had a slightly different experience. Several of their children have very simple skills, but for their age, and I would doubt that in other places many children their age would have this. The word is right on the tip of my tongue. Have the ability to cast,
Aptitude.
to cast certain spells. It was minor cantrips, nothing too major, but they showed me when I was talking to them and showing them some of the stage tricks, and but they were not. They informed me they were not allowed to really tell us about that.
It's odd.
They got badass parents. They picked up a couple things. Dusk, your parents are great. Look at you. You know how to shoot stuff from your paws or whatever.
I mean, you're very good.
Okay, but I'm not that young of a child.
Well, okay, so they're better at it than you. Jeez, I'm trying to give you a compliment, but all right, fine.
Wow.
The children involved were younger than you were when you first started
Yeah.
being able to cast.
And they knew bigger spells than cantrips or whatever. Is that what you're saying?
No, the only spells that they showed off were cantrips.
No, they were
Prestidigitation.
casting
But
cantrips,
that was strange for their age to be able to do that
Yeah.
then.
it's
Okay.
essentially a 5 or 6-year-old, or maybe even a little older, but not that casting cantrips is not a thing. Yeah.
Other than Dudley's already failed this check, but the other spellcasters, give me an Arcana check.
16 plus.
Oh my fucking god, 5.
Where's that? So I got the 16 plus. Ooh, 21.
All right. That is the look of a fail, Katie.
I know absolutely fucking nothing.
So,
That was a nat 1.
so
No.
Urias, if children that age are casting spells, it's almost certainly an innate ability, not a learned ability.
Would I know where that would come from? Like a sorcerer, like dragon background, or
sorcerer
I'm still thinking dragony.
like a sorcerer bloodline, something that is an innate ability like a sorcerer bloodline, yes. A super early warlock pack could account for it too, but that's kind of creepy.
They've been really, really too nice and happy, even though like I've been the crazy one. Like,
Yeah,
Not
warlocks
if
tend to have no drama in their life.
They're
Not if
very
their mom is
competent.
their
They
even
can take
worse
care
than
of
all
us.
of them. So yeah,
What? Okay, so what? Do we want to burn down their keep because they're too
No.
friendly? Dusk, your parents were too friendly. I didn't think anything weird about them.
they had
Okay,
really good
first
meals.
of all, I was there. So yeah, they're gonna be friendly.
Yes,
You
They
show
also
up out of
agreed
the
with
blue, they ain't gonna be that friendly.
I
mean-
think I would get along well with your parents.
I think there was a trial before I could stay there. Actually, to be honest,
There was at least debate.
yes.
Votes may have been cast. It was a
That's
process.
why I have
It was-
such a for Dusk, like I have such a like a revered sense of like, I like you. All right, we think this I can do with added trial. So I like to think that would happen with their place.
Yeah.
The point is, okay, you guys don't like them. I think they're great. What do you
I
want to do
never
about
said
it?
I didn't like them. I said that I am suspicious and
Uraeus
curious of
definitely
what.
doesn't like
Well,
'em.
that's Uraeus.
They're too
Suspicious of
goody-goody.
Arias doesn't like anything that doesn't have scales. Right?
Dragons have scales.
Yes, I'm better than a dragon.
Yeah,
This
but they
is a
haven't
different
shown their scales
conversation.
yet, and I think
to
that's
have.
why Uraeus is still iffy on them. But no,
Zin, what about you? Come on.
Mm.
These guys are all right, right? There's nothing wrong going on just because they're too friendly. What's wrong with being too friendly?
Nothing as far as I can tell.
There you
I
go.
didn't have any problem with anything.
Thank you.
I'm not saying I have a problem with them, but I am saying
They're
It is
hiding in plain
out of
sight.
the ordinary for a young child to be able to have that quick of an access to magic. So it could be a concern if you're walking around with a bunch of kids that can conjure stuff out of nowhere. You're probably not just a lounging queen and king sitting in a chair.
Was there a color scheme by any chance that's like been throughout this whole place? Like they have a certain aesthetic that could help me with what type of dragon they are?
mean-
Because I feel like they're a dragon.
I would
Oh, no.
personally be far more worried if, instead of it being an innate magic ability, that it was, in this case, like a warlock pact or something. I feel like that would be far more sinister, and I'd want to make sure it wasn't that.
Warlock packs. I mean,
For children.
They're more fun, I like to think.
For
They're more fun,
children!
Make them little snack packs. That's what they do. Instead of warlock pack, a little warlock snack pack. Yes.
That's what I mean, like, for children. Adults, you do you, I guess. But for children that young, that would be my concern.
hey, there's got to be a My First Patron somewhere.
It's a coloring book. Color by numbers.
Oh my god.
No, I
That's
in a
what I would hand out, but I don't have
some type
warlock
of-
patrons, so.
some type of Paleolithic, rock carving patron pact.
no, I agree. There could be potential issues, but it does not rate. To me, it rates as be a little cautious, but it does not rate as dislike or hate for anybody here. So
Look.
But they're still hiding something. Though.
Their kids come out with some sort of innate magical abilities. They're all out here on their own. They're not going to harm anyone. Worst case scenario, the kids burn the place down, and it's their own problem.
It is covered in wood.
I do have one more question about that.
But there's all of them? All of them?
Roughly, how many of those kids was I around that could do something like that? Was it like all of them?
No, not all of them
Okay.
were willing to show off, but it
Okay.
was a statistically large number.
Okay, because they said, some of these were adopted kids and some of these are certain family members. So I'm trying to now think.
I'd say maybe like 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, or something like that. Most of them would have been too shy to put anything on display, or just behaved better.
Valid.
Okay, so we can shift then to the next morning, unless you've got further debate. And that leads to the question of what would you like to do on the next?
Well, if
Well,
it's about life or death, they can live. Ugh.
I mean, as far as Vosk is concerned, I think I'm done here. There's no bandits to loot. They don't have any magical items for sale yet. So this is something I'm just putting a pin in for. When we get some spending cash, maybe we can come back and ask for some trinkets. But for now, there's not much Vosk really has to do here.
I think you're right, because if we leave now, we've only mildly offended them with talk of eating dragons at one point. But if we stay longer, we're probably going to go over some edge soon enough, knowing our history.
I already
Um,
pissed them off, so it doesn't matter.
So yeah, once you guys are ready to head out for the morning, King and Queen are there to see you off, and they arrive with a travel bag full of road provisions for you.
Oh, look
Uh,
how wonderful and nice these people are. I can't believe that anyone would ever say anything bad about them.
Is our tracking device in there?
By the way, that that thing I was talking about last night about eating dragons, you guys, of course, know that was a joke, right? Obviously, everyone would have known that.
can I get a deception check?
7.
Oh no!
King Raikkonen just like pauses on that for a moment. The thing about just joking is you're targeting an audience where you think that's, and
Isn't it?
he just leaves it at that.
He's a goblin who'll eat anything.
That
Um,
DC statement.
I saw him.
yeah, yeah.
I swear to God, I saw him eat a baby mimic.
Okay. Technically, that is true.
I start walking off. I don't I just bow and leave. Start walking off wherever. I don't know where we're going. Wait.
Yeah, they provide that pack of travel rations, which is more than enough to eat well for the next 2 or 3 days on the road. Yeah, it is an honor to have you as guests in our home. If you're ever in this area again, feel free to stop by. You're welcome to return.
Oh, I think we'll definitely be back. Maybe when we got a little bit more to offer you in return for whatever you have to offer us.
Yeah, we're still stretching and growing here, so there's a lot of work to be done.
If I may say one thing in confidence, I had a moment to speak to some of the children in terms of entertainment last night, and a few of them possessed an interest and perhaps a little bit of skill and understanding in basic stage craft. Um, I, I would hope that if the time comes, I do know some excellent tutors in some areas where you can contact excellent tutors, I should say. So should you ever need that, keep us in mind, and I shall send them your way.
Um, the Queen responds to that. We are more than capable of educating children. Give me an insight check. They're done.
I don't know what she's talking about. I rolled a nat 1 to a 5. It's a bad night for the roller.
Yeah, you can tell that she's angry and defensive, even on the 1. That was not something she expected you to do. But they're still, take you, escort you out. They take you to the barrel. They unlock your weapons. Wish you well. Did you ever be in the area? You're welcome to return to Rithmir.
Great. We'll see you again someday.
So I believe I have satisfied my personal desire to confuse you with what's going on here in the keep.
Well, I guess I would say, are they more like a cult? Like, because I know things about cults. Like, is this a thing that I could probably think? I walked away, but like, all right, come. Like, I don't know.
If you're gonna like look at it that way,
Especially if he tells me later on, because I walked away when he said
Yeah.
that.
if you're gonna try to like piece things together and compare it to your own upbringing,
Background. Yeah.
there is a little bit of familiarity to it. Not because it's a cult, but because there was no question that everyone there was of the same opinion on most things.
Okay, I will. It's a
So-
cult different than mine.
They're one big extended family.
It does not matter about family. It's their greater good.
So that puts you on the road again. It'll take a little over a day to return to Shantal if you're going to return directly. But I would like to know where you intend to travel.
Well, we do need to get back into looking into these people that Zin identified for us. As
But
far as my contacts, my bounty hunting contacts go, are they back from where we came from, or are they somewhere else?
I would assume you've got contacts like scattered around the area.
Hmm.
Were you looking for something specific? I guess you just said you were looking for.
Yeah, I think Dunka Ironbrand out of
The dwarf.
out of the three that we know left together is probably the easiest to track down, because guy with knives and necromancer are much more broad than dwarf in red armor who is a cleric of some kind.
Okay. Well, you know that the nearest settlement of any type is Earl, which you just heard a little bit about. You could be there before the end of the evening. Crossing the river would be the only complication there. You'd have to travel a bit to find a good, safe place to cross. Otherwise, the nearest settlement is Shantal itself. Nearest other settlement leaving.
What about the there is a place named after Weaverns that I think was the opposite direction from which we were traveling.
Yeah, that's farther off. The Wyvern Watchtower.
I mean, Bosk kind of does want to head in that direction, just to take care of the wyvern hunting. But
Another option would be running south along the river. There's a town there called Many Waters. Got a one of the largest temples in the region is there, dedicated to healing.
figure a large temple would know something about other temples or followers of other religions in the area.
That is an assumption you're able to make.
Okay. Well, what's everyone else's opinion on our destination?
Cannot hurt to get a second opinion.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Whatever you guys want to do. I have no desire to go back to any town at this point, so we're good for whatever.
When should we expect your bounty hunters to show up again?
I have no idea. Ask Bosk. He's all buddy with him apparently. Wants to sell me out. I know it.
I
One's
mean,
gonna wait till I'm dead. That's right. I forgot. Sorry, Bosk. Give you
Yeah.
credit.
I mean, how
So-
much are you worth? Because I might do that myself.
I don't know. Here. I didn't read the scroll. It just said regicide. I guess
I will definitely open it up further. How much is he worth? How much is he worth? To really know, because I don't believe him that he was really he was wanted for that.
I think I said the reward offered was 200 gold pieces.
That is it.
Yeah, I know. Really?
He's a minor king, apparently.
Did you Did you kill that king we just saw? The king.
Perspective. That's 4 pounds of gold.
Toss it out to the side.
He was alive.
Incinerate the thing.
One of the nearby towns should have like a central bounty hunting hub or guild hall or something of that nature.
I would like
if
to
that's
think
something you
your
want
bounty
to,
up higher.
if that's something
would
you want to
hope to be
visit in the
infamous.
future, I will track down that location and give you more information on it.
I'm also still looking to sell this magical scabbard to someone. Wherever a minor magical item might draw some interest. I don't know if bounty hunters would be into that. I'm sure there certainly
With
are.
the temple too,
Yeah.
like you said, the
Well,
Yeah.
didn't they say they were selling items at the town? I am not
Earl.
going to remember the name of it.
Do we have to go? Do we have to go back there?
No, but to the town Arrow, which is like further down the road. But they were saying they were actively selling magic trinkets there, so there might be a market for it there.
There might be, but there's already competition. Well, I mean, Errol, Errol's the only one we can reach by the end of the day. Like, we can be there by the end of the day.
Many Waters wouldn't be much farther than that. Assuming nothing goes wrong or you don't get distracted, you may be able to reach Many Waters in a similar amount of time.
Let's hit Errol first, and then head to Many Waters from there.
Okay. I can prepare for that destination next week. But I think with that where we're at now, I'm going to err on the side of ending early instead of pressing on or doing something random and off the wall for no reason.
No sudden combat.
I'm good at that.
Make us roll d20.
So, Uraeus, did you take the time to put that scroll into your spellbook?
I did. Well, I don't have that level, I guess, because it doesn't pop up when I'm searching for it. So I only have second level right now. Is that third level?
Should be first.
Should be first.
Oh, maybe I was spelled wrong. Oh, don't mind me, kids. Totally what's going on.
Protection from evil and good, I think it was, you said?
I probably kept putting protection from good, and that's probably what was throwing me off.
Add spells there.
Stuff.
Hold on. Just hold on real quick.
Okay.
Now refresh your character sheet.
Okay, thanks.
I have used the power of the internet to give you new abilities.
Yay! I like this. Thanks.
So yeah, we're gonna shut down a little early tonight so we can be prepared for where we're going now. Ural is a larger city than anything you've been in. You know that they've got a gem trade that flows through there, and
that's right. We not only do we have the magic scabbard, I forgot I still haven't actually pawned the ruby necklace yet either.
Yeah, and they, because of the wealth brought in by the gem trade, they've got a lot of caravan activity that gets funded through there. Did Jess lose audio?
No.
Or was that okay? That was just an entirely silent. What the fuck?
Yeah, my camera keeps turning off on my end.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
I have not noticed that on my end.
Yeah, I haven't seen you go.
We haven't seen you go you haven't disappeared or anything.
No, it's weird.
Magical
you can
darkness.
see it on the actual stream because it's going
Yeah,
on
I
my
saw it
circle.
flash a minute ago.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on.
All right, we're gonna call tonight there. We'll be back tomorrow night for more Undermountain shenanigans with the Waterdeep crew. Between now and then, track me down on Twitter at Evil Sales Ass. The best way to do that. We're gonna pass directly to Katie.
I'm Katie. You could find me out on the interweb as Katie Bugs. I don't do much, but I'm out there. I'll pass to Lauren.
Hello again. I am Lauren, and you can find me on Twitter at the Splintering. That's pretty much the only thing I'm on, other than Discord. Yeah, sorry. Hey, Discord family. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's it. Derek, you go.
Derek, you can find me at Dirk Awesome on Twitter. I'm not going to spell it anymore. I always do that anyway, but that's about all. So, Jess.
You can find me at Sweet Nine Tails on Twitter and the Instagrams. That's all I have for you. I'm really tired tonight. I'm gonna pass it off to, I think Oliver's the last person left. Yes? Yes.
Wow, that was quick. Okay. I was Oliver, and you can find me on the other game nights, I suppose, and also on our Discord, which the link you can find down below. Go there and say hi to myself or anyone else that's here on any of the nights. And that's it.
All right. Let's call it a session.
Woo woo.
Shut it down.
Good night,
Thanks everybody for watching.
everybody.
Mhm.